Now I'm going to start the intro. Hello, welcome to the Problem Show, brought to you by the Kalamazoo River Valley Poets Theater. Today we are hearing from Michael Colby. Michael Colby is an actor, writer, and aspiring filmmaker from Portland, Oregon, currently living in Chicago, Illinois. His main inspirations are Quentin Tarantino movies, Sandra Oh, and the metal band GWAR. He would like to tell you that Black Lives Matter. So, Michael, you think you've got problems?
Yeah, Ish. I got problems. I got one big problem that eats at me every day. I have anxiety. I've had it since I was 9 years old, 17 years. People often describe me as confident and charming, which are qualities I do think I possess, but I don't think anyone could guess how many hours I've spent in a therapist's office or how many frantic calls I've made to close friends and family praying that I don't sound insane, or the years I've sat by myself convinced of some imminent doom right behind me. In short, it's paradise. When I was 9, I didn't know anyone else in the world who had a problem like this. I was sure I was the only one. That's it. I'm crazy. And I just sat like that for years. Now, it seems like everybody has it. Well, guess what? I was anxious before it was cool to be anxious. For me, an episode of anxiety can be triggered by something someone says, something I read, something I watch. Sometimes I just make myself anxious for no reason. Isn't that fun? The best way I can describe my anxiety is that it feels like sliding down an ice-covered hill. I can feel it in every part of my body. My chest tightens, my breathing shortens, my sweat turns cold, and I feel hotter, but at the same time, the biggest thing that is in the way is my thoughts and creativity. All my mental energy becomes devoted to digging myself deeper into this anxious hole. I stop doing things I enjoy, and I will actively seek out things that make me more anxious. Now, you might be asking, Michael, what makes a strong, charismatic, devastatingly handsome fellow like you anxious? Well, let me tell you. Climate change, nuclear weapons, authoritarian regimes, friends who don't text me back immediately, white shirts with tough stains, white supremacy, the thought of never reaching my goals, deadlines, air raid sirens, people not laughing at my jokes. There are more, but most of these things have one thing in common, and that's that I can't put my hands on them. It's not getting up and speaking in front of good people like you. I could do that all day, but rather it's the big nebulous concepts that I can't physically touch. So what do you do about it? My main method is talking about it. But see, the trick is you can't just share your mental intricacies with anybody on the street. I'm lucky. I have a therapist who actually listened to me and gave me the space to help me reach my own conclusions. When it's really bad, I'll speak to a small handful of people that I trust to work through it. See, I think anxiety is one part of an emotional cycle. It's a primal alarm bell that sometimes goes off when the brain is presented with information that might pose a threat to it. It's a mechanism designed to protect your meat-packed skeleton from danger. It should be there. It's a natural part of human emotion. The problem is, it's not always useful. If you feel like anxiety is dominating your life, it might be time to seek the help of a professional. Another thing, you should be nicer to yourself. When I feel anxious, I literally say to myself out loud, it's okay that you feel this way. Or I'm not mad at you for feeling anxious. You can't control what you feel. If people could control how they felt, wouldn't everybody just choose to orgasm all day or not ever be tired? Instead of feeling ashamed about my emotions, I try to acknowledge them and tend to them as best I can, like a garden. Take love, for instance. Love is the most important thing in the world, but love can be blinding. It certainly has a purpose, but we know it needs limits and boundaries, at least some of us do. And the same goes for anxiety. If you find yourself worried about something like climate change or systematic racism, I'd suggest volunteering or joining an organization committed to action. Volunteering can be transformative. If you find that your symptoms are too overwhelming for any of these mentioned, then Medication is also an option. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you when that's necessary, but I do know that you deserve to be happy, at least. Finally, if my story sounds at all like yours, let me leave you with a few questions to ponder. You have only one life to live, and it's happening right now. How do you want to spend your time? If you're suffering from severe anxiety, could the thing that makes you anxious possibly be any worse than what you're currently going through? You deserve acceptance and validation. Anxiety is a part of you, so doesn't it also deserve acceptance and validation? Just a couple questions. And hey, kid, it'll be okay. And however much time I left, I just want to say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. And you all should have a really good day. Shout out to all the dogs in the world, every single dog in the world. Shout out to my mom and dad. Shout out to my friend Kat, who's here today from Boise. Shout out to Ish for putting me on the show. Shout out to my suit for not fitting as well as it used to. And I have a website soon that'll be up and running. So soon, go to my Instagram. That's The Tasty Man. That's The Tasty Man on Instagram. Black Lives Matter.
Right on. Michael, I'm really honored that you are a part of the show. Thank you. That was the problem show. Have you got a problem? Do you want to express it? Why don't you email us at Crypt Problems? That's KRVPT problems@gmail.com. And I can guarantee you we'll get back to you. Well, I mean, like, I don't mean we'll get back. I can guarantee you I will respond. Thank you all so much for being here. And we will see you next week.